From the rapid growth of renewable energy to incredible breakthroughs in medical research, last year brought us plenty of reasons to feel hopeful. And as we step forward into 2025, there are already some exciting positives on the horizon. In today's video, we're spotlighting 10 good things that will change this year, from massive new solar megaprojects and faster EV chargers to healthcare innovations and new policies promoting financial fairness and environmental protection. These aren't just wishful ideas. They're concrete plans and initiatives that promise real benefits in many different sectors. So let's check them out and stick around to find out why 2025 is gearing up to be a great year. Our first positive development is the ongoing expansion of renewable energy. For example, the International Energy Agency estimates that wind power will surpass nuclear power generation this year. Even better, the agency claims that in the new year, more than a third of the world's electricity will come from renewable sources. And part of the reason for this is that some massive projects are coming online this year, like the Dogger Bank wind farm in the United Kingdom, adding 1.2 gigawatts of offshore wind capacity, or Egypt's Kom Ombo solar PV plant that adds 500 megawatts. There are also plenty of other examples, like Germany's Hödreit offshore wind farm at almost 1 gigawatt, and many more of these around the world. Even with these fantastic projects, it's undeniable that one country has been dominating the green energy sector recently and will most likely continue to do so. China has already hit its 2030 solar and wind targets, a remarkable 6 years ahead of schedule. This not only shows China's commitment, but also sets the stage for a race among all other major countries to ramp up their efforts. Overall, the global trend shows no signs of slowing down. 2024 marked the year that humanity added more solar power capacity than ever before. As solar and wind projects ramp up around the globe, the clean energy transition also hinges on building the charging infrastructure needed to keep electric vehicles on the move. Today, only a fraction of car owners can conveniently charge at home, so rolling out more public stations is vital if everyday drivers are ever going to embrace electric vehicles. According to the International Energy Agency, the number of public EV chargers could skyrocket sixfold by 2035, making it easier for people in cities, suburbs, and even rural areas to switch to plug-in cars. Meanwhile, private companies like GM and ChargePoint are joining forces to build faster chargers, aiming to install hundreds of new sites across the United States by 2025. But that's not all. A group of EV car makers called SAE International is pushing for a universal plug-in charge system. The system is anticipated to launch in early 2025, and it'll make charging an electric vehicle a whole lot easier. Drivers will only have to plug in and let the car and charger figure out the payment details automatically, regardless of the make or model of their vehicle. To put it simply, better charging infrastructure makes electric cars a practical choice for millions worldwide, speeding up our journey towards a cleaner, more sustainable future. Next up, we take a look at major changes coming to the European Union. The Deforestation Regulation, or EUDR, which will push companies to prove that their goods are deforestation-free. Did you know that crops like cacao, coffee, and soy are some of the key drivers of deforestation worldwide? According to experts, the EU is the second largest importer of these goods. But things will change for the better when the EUDR becomes fully implemented by the end of 2025. With these regulations in place, companies will have to do their due diligence and prove that their products didn't contribute to deforestation or originate from recently deforested land. This process will have to be applied to the entire supply chain, ensuring that EU citizens can enjoy their products knowing that they did not contribute to deforestation. Another important change is coming to European Union trade policies, most notably the Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism, or CBAM. This mechanism aims to address carbon leakage, where companies shift production to countries with less stringent environmental rules to avoid EU carbon costs. This is especially harmful regarding steel, cement, and electricity, which are major sources of CO2 emissions. Under CBAM, importers of these goods must register with national authorities and, starting in 2026, purchase CBAM certificates to cover the carbon footprint of their imports. During the transition period from 2023 to 2025, businesses will report the emissions of their imported goods to prepare for full implementation. In addition to driving further decarbonization within the European Union, this new law aims to encourage cleaner industrial production worldwide by putting a price on carbon-intensive goods. Now, whether this change will be seen as good news from an economic perspective remains open to debate, so feel free to share your opinion in the comments down below. It seems like the European Union is gearing up to make significant changes soon, but let's see what's happening across the Atlantic. For starters, there's the 2025 COLA adjustment. US citizens who rely on government programs to get by have reason to rejoice because the new 2025 cost of living adjustment, better known as COLA, is about to help millions of people keep up with everyday costs. Inflation affects everyone, but it can hit those on a fixed income especially hard. That's why in 2025, Social Security and Supplemental Security Income, or SSI benefits, will increase by 2.5%. Starting in January, nearly 68 million Americans receiving Social Security and about 7.5 million on Supplemental Security Income will see their monthly checks rise. While cost of living adjustments aim to ease financial burdens, United States healthcare is also bracing for an exciting transformation: the growth of telehealth. The future of healthcare isn't just about treating illnesses, it's about preventing them as well, embracing new technologies, and ensuring that everyone has access to vital care. By 2025, US citizens will see a surge of changes that make healthcare more personalized, efficient, and accessible for both patients and professionals. Telehealth and virtual care will most likely take center stage. That means more online appointments, remote patient monitoring, and better access for people who struggle to visit a clinic in person, particularly those in rural or underserved communities. Alongside that, personalized medicine is becoming increasingly common, allowing doctors to tailor treatments based on an individual's genetic makeup. The education system has already recognized the importance of these changes. Schools like OIC Philadelphia are leading the way by training the next generation of healthcare workers to operate in a tech-driven environment. Their programs equip students with the skills to handle electronic health records, telehealth platforms, and AI tools, areas where employers are eager to hire. Now, since we're on the topic of significant changes happening in the field of medicine, one of the key elements that will undoubtedly continue transforming medicine in 2025 is the use of AI technology. Artificial intelligence is proving to be a game changer, helping professionals to make quicker, more accurate diagnoses and handle administrative tasks much more efficiently. But it can also be used for research, and especially for discovering new drugs. Developing new medicines can be incredibly time-consuming and even expensive, often taking years and billions of dollars before a single drug reaches the patients. Now, that's where AI-powered drug discovery comes into play. By harnessing big data, like genetic information, clinical trial results, and chemical libraries, researchers can analyze thousands of potential drug candidates faster than ever before. At the same time, regulators like the Food and Drug Administration are already considering guidelines to ensure any AI-driven solutions meet safety and effectiveness standards. Overall, it looks like AI has massive potential in the medical field, and we're excited to keep bringing you updates on it throughout the year. Before we hop back across the Atlantic and head to Africa, we just want to take a moment to thank you all so much for subscribing and helping us to hit 100,000 subscribers. This is a huge milestone for our channel, and we really appreciate your support. It means a lot. And now, let's take a look at Africa, where leaders are gearing up to boost trade and economic growth through the African Continental Free Trade Area. Come March 2025, African ministers and experts will gather in Ethiopia for a high-stakes conference aimed at accelerating the implementation of the free trade area. But what exactly is this all about? Well, interregional trade in Africa currently sits at a mere 13%, compared to over 50% in Asia and 70% in Europe. But this plan is about to change that. 54 states signed an agreement by 2021, which aims to create a free trade area for basically the entire continent. By eliminating trade barriers and boosting intra-African trade, the officials see immense potential to lift African economies, boost infrastructure, and create jobs. But as with most things, that's easier said than done. Since the trade area was launched, it faced significant hurdles, such as the lack of adequate cross-border payment systems, poor infrastructure, and a high cost of transportation. That's why the upcoming conference in March will bring together a vast array of stakeholders with a single goal in mind: to get past these initial problems and accelerate the implementation of a free trade area. Going back to Europe, the EU is also setting its sights on the digital realm, tackling everything from dangerous content to intrusive ads. That's where the Digital Services Act comes in. This act, otherwise known as DSA, targets social media sites, e-commerce platforms, and major search engines, pushing them to remove illegal products and harmful content faster and to be more transparent. content providers will have to start compiling data and sending reports starting July 1st, 2025. So how does this help the average internet user? Well, by demanding clearer, fairer rules online, the DSA can reduce scams, misleading ads, and harmful posts. This gives people more control over what they see, and a safer space to express themselves. It also shields kids from aggressive targeting, ensuring they don't become unwitting victims of manipulative tactics. The European Commission will be in charge of enforcing the DSA on very large platforms like Alibaba, AliExpress, and Amazon, as well as search engines like Bing and Google. At the same time, each EU member state will deal with smaller platforms on a national level. This is a massive milestone on the path to a more accountable digital world, one that respects people's rights and makes sure everyday internet use is more secure. A secure internet was also essential for gathering the insights in our last development. We want to take a look at the people's prediction for 2025. Are people optimistic about the future, and will this have an impact on our next year? A recent survey conducted by Ipsos across 33 countries reached over 23,000 people, and they claim that optimism is on the rise. The survey shows that people worldwide are feeling a bit more upbeat about the future than they have in years. 2/3 say 2024 was a bad year for their country, still pretty high, but the lowest level since before the pandemic. Meanwhile, 71% believe that 2025 will be better than 2024, suggesting a slow return to the pre-COVID sense of positivity. Economic optimism is also inching upward, with just over half the respondents expecting a stronger global economy, though understandably, opinions vary widely from one nation to another. But does any of that really matter? Well, yeah. When people feel hopeful, they're more likely to invest in businesses, make long-term plans, and engage with their local communities. With a brighter outlook on the future, even governments and organizations are more eager to support policies and initiatives. So despite the obvious challenges and problems around the world, this cautious optimism can really help to drive recovery and innovation. But what do you think about this new year? What's the one change that you're most excited about for 2025? Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Thank you again, as always, for helping us to spread good news, and we'll see you in the next video.